Hello, welcome to the weather updates. 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. on July 31st, 2020. Welcome. We've got a lot to talk about once again. We're going to get started with Hurricane Isaias. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. That's the best. That's what I'm going to call it. So we can see we got hurricane warnings in effect for the Bahamas and the east coast of Florida right now. And you can see this is the cone, and we are definitely in it. And it looks like they're trying to have it make a landfall or a landfall, maybe perhaps or brush the coast in Florida, and then make another landfall somewhere in South Carolina, and then we would get what's left of it. That's pretty much what it is, and it would have us according to the Hurricane Center, it has it passing by between 2 p.m. Tuesday and 2 p.m. Wednesday in our area as a tropical storm. However, that can change. So maximum sustained winds are 80 miles an hour. It's moving us northwest at 15 miles an hour. Let's get the latest public advisory here. So, as of 8 p.m., its location is 22.9 north, 75.9 west, about 175 miles south-southeast of Nassau in the Bahamas. We have a maximum sustained winds of 80 miles an hour, northwest at 15 miles an hour, minimum subsoil pressure down to 987 millibars or 29.15 inches. So it is indeed strengthening. They're saying it's forecast to remain a hurricane for the next couple of days. Hurricane force winds extend outward up to 35 miles from the center, and tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 175 miles from the center. Daniel K. in Exmouth recently reported sustained winds of 40 miles an hour with a gust to 52. So yeah, we got to deal with a lot here, and we're gonna, I guess, first. Let's go look at the models here for this storm. Well, we're going to start off here on looking at our traditional model view, and then we'll go to the spaghetti plot, I guess. Or do you want to do, well, I guess we'll go to the spaghetti plot first. I guess that would make the most sense. So let's go to tropicaltidbits.com. And we also need to look at the satellite, too, which I did not load. I preloaded some stuff, but I didn't load a lot of stuff, so while we wait for that, let me go back to Tropical Tidbits, and while we're waiting for that to load, we'll go to look at the spaghetti models. All right. So here are Getty Models. They call these the spaghetti models because it looks like spaghetti, and you can see now tracks further to the west now, and it has it brushing. Most of them have it brushing Florida and then making a landfall somewhere in the Carolinas. And this would weaken the storm, but we would still be in for some wind and rain for sure. Now, we do need the rain, but we really don't want to have a lot of wind and flooding, but we definitely need the rain. And this track definitely it looks very likely that we're going to see some impact from Isaias in our area next week. Or should I say this week? Well, it's not there yet. We got to wait till Sunday before it comes, so it's still next week. But probably Tuesday or Wednesday would be when we would see the impact. So let's see. Hopefully the satellite has loaded, and it has. And you can see it still looks kind of disorganized. It's really hard to make out a center on this storm at all. But you can see two big areas of convection here. So there is plenty of convection. I think once it gets away, it's still dealing with some shear right now. So I think maybe once it gets a little, we're going to take a look at the upper levels and see you're going to see the shear is going to dissipate, I think, as we look at the model. So let's go look at the models here. All right, and we're going to first start with the surface. All right, and then we'll go to the upper air. So let me move this back here. This is the GFS. Okay, 18Z GFS, and you can see it tracks it right along the coast there, Florida. Now, because of that interaction with land, it'll weaken it. So it's probably going to stay a hurricane, and then once it brushes the coast, it might weaken a little bit, might undergo a little shear from this trough in the east, and then it's going to get pulled up because you got the ridge here and you got the trough over here, and it's going to get pulled up. Clearly see it. I'll draw for you. It's going to get pulled up. So here's your trough right here. And here's your ridge right here. So you can see the storm is nowhere to go but along the coast. with that setup, and there's very strong south-southwesterly flow that's going to pull it up with that, and it'll pull it up quite quickly too once it gets caught in it. And that's the other thing: when these storms move fast, they don't have a chance to weaken as much as they normally would if they were moving slower. So while it will weaken somewhat, you'll see it takes it in, and it gets the center over land, and then we get the remnants of it with the center going right along the coast there with that strong ridge there. You can see that strong western Atlantic ridge there that's going to push this thing to the west and not let it go out to sea. And instead it goes right up the coast. And this would bring quite a bit of rain. We'll take a look and see what the total accumulated rainfall would be with this. So let's do total accumulated precip. So you can see here that we would have a good amount of, well, according to this, it's not that impressive with the rain. Most of the rain would go to the west again, and Long Island would kind of get gypped. Maybe we'd get an inch, while west of the area could get 2 to 3 inches of rain. But again, this could change. This could definitely change. So let's go take a closer look at the about what it would look like as it makes landfall over our area, and what kind of thing we would be dealing with here. This would be Tuesday afternoon, with the center literally right along the coast or what's left of it, with a good slug of heavy rain to the west. Now the winds, we're going to look at the winds now. The worst of the winds really won't be felt according to this. They'll be mostly over the ocean. But still, with that strong southeast wind, there's going to be some coastal flooding for sure. But the main thing we'd be getting is plenty of rain with this setup. Okay, so if we change this here. We'll change this to the wind here. To back this up. Of course, now I have to wait for it to load. You can see here that it makes landfall along Florida. And the winds don't penetrate too far inland in Florida, and then it kind of weakens it once it gets to Florida. It weakens it quite a bit, actually. So it doesn't turn. This isn't the monster that it was being forecast a couple of days yesterday, at least according to the GFS. You can see it keeps it probably a Category 1 hurricane. Probably won't get beyond Category 1 according to this. And then it starts weakening into probably a tropical storm. You can see the winds die off quite a bit, actually, especially once the center goes over land. It's mainly that southeast LLJ on the right side of it that would bring the wind, and that would mainly be an issue for the South Shore, and then it would move away. But we'd be hopefully getting some rain out of it. All right, so this is something we'll have to keep our eye on, obviously. No pun intended. I don't think the NAM's going to go far enough out. Seriously doubt the NAM's going to go far enough out. It's not even going to go far. I don't even know. Oh, that's the 0Z run. Let's get the 18Z run. Let's see what the NAM does. The NAM brings it even further west. Brings it in over Florida. The more interaction with land, the more it'll be in a weakened state by the time it gets to us. That's the point. We can look at the HWRF too. That's one of the hurricane models. So here is the HWRF, and it takes it pretty much has an agreement. You can see it just weakens once it interacts with the land quite a bit, and then the center goes just to our west here. So it's looking more and more likely that the impacts, at least wind-wise, for our area won't be too bad. It's mainly going to be rain. So that's the main thing that, of course, we don't want to deal with. We do need the rain. That's something we need badly. So pretty much that's the model there. We're going to go look at our current conditions now and then take a look at the rain and how much rain we got. I got to find it. Where is it? What to do with it? Here we go. All right, so here's the weather and hazards map. It's a comfortable night across the area. After dew points have come down tonight, you'll see here dew points have dropped into the 60s, and the temperatures have dropped too. We're in the 70s now, mid-70s. It's a very pleasant evening everywhere on the island tonight, and this is as a result of that cold front pushing to the south. Even down in New Jersey, they're in the 70s with dew points in the upper 60s, so not bad at all. let's take a look. And the highs really were in the low 80s today, so it's not. I'm gonna just look at the precipitation though, because that's what we need to look at. Look at the rainfall that we got since last night. Because we had some heavy rain overnight, and it looks like some parts of the island actually managed to get. It looks like we only got about a half an inch in Nassau County, but some amounts you see some 1.27. I don't believe that's 7.34. There's no way that's accurate. But we could see it was probably closer to an inch on the South Shore, middle of the island, maybe more like a half an inch in the North Shore. And then as you head east into Suffolk County, we're seeing over an inch in places like um, Melville there. Farmingdale got 0.96. You have a 2.62 reading in Babylon there. Let's see, is that Islip? Islip got 2.05 inches today. Very good. So that helped a lot, easing the rainfall deficit on the island. That's great. So I'm glad we got some. We got over an inch plus amounts, inch to 2 inches amount. And the good thing is it held together for Suffolk County. That heavy rain. Ridge got 1.13. Brookhaven Airport got 0.92. West Hampton got 0.63, a little less out on the east end, I guess. But definitely some much-needed rain across the island because we were in a drought watch, and hopefully this will help maybe alleviate it, especially between this and the remnants of Isaias will help a great deal in easing the drought here, which would definitely be very helpful. Get some good out of this. Let's go look at the temperatures on the GFS so we can take a look and see what the weekend is going to be like. And I'm dealing with very slow information here coming through. So here's tomorrow. Has it getting to the mid to upper 80s, maybe around 90 in parts of Jersey, North Jersey, and the Hudson Valley. And then for tomorrow, and then for Sunday, it's a little cooler. You're gonna blaze in New Jersey, but with the Long Island should be only in the mid 80s. But Jersey's probably more like the mid 90s. Yow! And then and then Monday. This is why I don't want to have to be in New Jersey, but well. So Monday, we're at where the temperatures are around 90 probably, and then you can see there's whenever we get what's left of is Isaias, it'll be cool and rainy that day probably, and then behind the storm, not really much relief. It'll still be warm, not outrageously warm, but above normal. Not even going to go beyond that right there at this point. So let's go look at the dew points here, and we'll look at several of the models here at the dew points. Because we are getting some dew point relief, and we're going to see some of it tomorrow, I think. 2 points probably in the 60s, and then they'll probably come up later in the day. And then here comes that really juicy air, mid-70s dew points for Sunday. Drops off a little bit on Monday, but we're going to have plenty of juicy air with that tropical system. You can see that front just tries to make it through. Looks like it tries to make it through on Thursday, but it's hard with that ridge there. It's just I'm hoping the tropical system will do something to flip the pattern, hopefully, so we can get rid of this ridge and at least knock it down a little bit, which would be nice. Look at the NAM 32, the NAM 12 kilometer on the dew points as well. As we get into our first day of August tomorrow. Again, I'm dealing with very slow inputs here on the model. Very slow. So the NAM doesn't seem to think it's going to be as dry. But the NAM is a little too humid tonight. So I'm thinking the NAM might be a little... The NAM is underestimating the dry air coming in. So I think we will see more dry air on the NAM. So the next thing is the sky. Let's go back to GFS here. And we will look at the sky. See if we can get a sunny day tomorrow. It looks like it'll start off clear, but then these high clouds will probably roll in on us probably by later in the afternoon. And then after that, I'm not even going to look after that. Can look at the RGM as well for the sky. So let's see what this has. This is the RGM. We're waiting for it. So you can see those high clouds coming. We might start off clear, and then the high clouds kind of come in, but we'll see. Maybe we can get some nice skies and maybe a chance to get to the Pines. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but we'll have to see if the Cirrus doesn't roll in until later. Maybe we can go. Otherwise, it's going to be a junky sky, so I don't know if I'm going to want to do that. Okay. So I'm going to go back to the HRRR, and we're going to look at the 18Z. What do we have? The 0Z HRRR in. Very good. All right, so this is the 0Z HRRR. And we'll look at our next chance of precipitation. HRRR generates some isolated showers over New Jersey, mainly over New Jersey. Could be some maybe toward the North Shore tomorrow afternoon. And then there's this next round here that we've got to watch, this next chance of rain, which would be Sunday. And you can see there's a warm front here. So you can see there's a low and there's a warm front here. So this could touch off some more. You can clearly see the warm front. That could touch off some more showers and thunderstorms for us on Sunday. I guess I'll talk about that more in tomorrow night's weather update. We'll have a better idea. I can look at the NAM 12 kilometer as well. We have the 0Z in, which doesn't really go that much further out, so I have to go to the 18Z. You can see that it does generate some scattered thunderstorm activity for Sunday with such a juicy air mass in place. There could be the potential for some of these storms to be strong or severe. I have to keep our eye on that as well. I can go to the SPC, and we can look at the Storm Prediction Center and see what they have for it would be day 3. They don't have, no, would it be day 2? No, this is day 2. This is tomorrow. So, no, we're just in a. They don't have for the next day. So, yeah, I don't know. But going back to the models here, we'll go back. We'll look back at the GFS here, and we're going to look at the upper air now. I know I'm kind of doing this backwards, but it's a matter of getting the information here. It's just slow. You pretty much see there's the trough. There's tropical system. It gets pulled up and into that trough. But you can see because it's going to go a little more shear, it's not going to strengthen as much as it could have. And then between that and the landfalls, it looks like it just kind of gets absorbed in this trough here, as you see here. But you can see the trough kind of, and then it splits, and then the ridge builds back, and that's the problem. And then and look at this as we go into the future, another ridge in the east again. It's just, there's just no break from this ridge. Dying. And yes, it was the warmest July on record in New Jersey. And we'll talk about that more in tomorrow's weather update when we get the monthly data in. So, see, here's that trough. Again, you can see there's the trough. Where is the tropical system? It kind of just dissipates in the upper air, at least. You don't see it in the upper air at all. And there's that trough, and it looks like the Euro wants to help us out a little more, getting a little more relief. All right, speaking of the Euro, let's look at how it's going to handle it on here. Looking at windy.com. It's 2 p.m. tomorrow. It's coming into, looks like it's going to brush Miami. Doesn't really have it strengthening all that much more, I don't think. Maybe a little bit more. And then it has it make a landfall in South Florida, somewhere around Palm Beach. And then it kind of just dissipates it. It just falls apart relatively quickly. You can't even you can see a little bit of a circulation. Then it reemerges again on Florida, so it could possibly try to re-strengthen before it makes another landfall. The Euro is much slower too. In the Carolinas, and then it kind of just gets lost here. Whoa! All right, I jumped ahead to Thursday. Where is it? It kind of just falls apart. You don't even see it that much. So this is when it would come close to our area. Okay, so this would be its impacts around. European has impact, I guess, around. So it has a strong LLJ type setup, and there could be some strong winds in this LLJ. South at 42, south at 40. and it kind of gets it out of here really fast. This would be overnight Wednesday night. So you can see it looks like it has stronger winds over the east end. These are sustained. And then if I go to the gusts, of course this could be overdone and probably is 64 miles an hour. I don't see why it's causing that with the storm over land. I don't know why the storm would not be in a weaker state. It should, with the center clearly over land, it should be in a weaker state, but it may not be. There may be a strong LJ on the right side of it, which would definitely cause some strong winds, wind gusts. Not hurricane, but definitely tropical storm force conditions over the island. And this would definitely cause some coastal flooding, especially if you looked at the waves here. You'd see, look at these waves here. It would definitely cause some flooding on the south shore. But this is still a ways away. So I guess that'll wrap up this update here on. We can look at the Ventus sky as well. This is the. Well, this will use the GFS probably. So if we look at Wednesday, gotta find the storm first. It's Tuesday. All right. Wait, Tuesday evening. Trying to find it here. Where is it? Let me go to the. Oh, there it is. Okay. So. All right. This would be Tuesday afternoon. This one. Let me go to wind gusts here. It's got some decent winds over parts of the island here. These are wind gusts, but this would be the GFS. 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts. 2 o'clock. This is 2 o'clock, so you'd have some pretty strong wind gusts coming into the south shore here. If we look at the sustained wind speed, because what it is if the center stays east of the Appalachians, it won't weaken that much, and you'll still have some strong winds coming on. And this could cause a lot of problems for the south shore as far as flooding goes. So we're still a ways out with Isaias. No, not Isaias. But we'll see what happens tomorrow, and I'm sure the situation will continue to evolve, but it's more and more looking quite likely we're going to see some effects from it. But what exactly, I can't tell you. It's still too far in advance. But as far as tomorrow goes, should be a decent day, calm before the storm, so to speak. So try to enjoy it. Take care and have a good night.